Hey everyone, I hope you all have been doing well. I've been away from YouTube for probably 9 months or something like that, but I want to do a general overview of all of the planners and journals that I've been using in 2022. And I am going to talk a little bit about why I was gone for so long. And it's a pretty tough topic, and which is why I have not titled this video planner and journal lineup. I don't want people coming to this video expecting something and then getting bogged down with a pretty heavy topic. So this is more casual, and I am going to open up each of these things and talk about what I'm using them for and give you examples of some pages in some of these. I do want to do a more targeted, detailed video for most of these setups so that I can really dig in there and really get into what I'm using it for. Because there's some new things like this one. This is my most favorite thing ever. But let's go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off. While I was gone, just to warn you, I am going to talk about child loss. And I understand if that is a topic that maybe some of you just are not wanting to hear about. I do promise I am not going to get into any nitty-gritty details or anything like that. I'm just a generally very private person, and I don't like to use the internet for any kind of therapy or anything like that. But I do want to mention that we suffered through child loss because that's kind of sprinkled throughout these setups about my daughter. So in this video, I want to point out the significance of some of the things that I'm going to show because it has to do with the loss of my daughter. And I want this video to kind of be just like a one-stop video referencing all of that stuff, because I don't want to keep bringing up child loss in all of my future videos because I don't want them bogged down by such a heavy topic. So in the future, I'll just reference her as my daughter, like all of my other daughters, because she is an amazing part of our life. And yeah, so we just went through like the hardest year of our life, and it's okay now. Like, it's much more okay than it was. And this hobby was like the thing to help me take a break from all of, the grief and the sorrow that comes along with that. So really long story short, I was pregnant for most of the time that I was absent from YouTube. And I found out pretty early on that she had a fatal condition. And basically what happened was I gave birth, and it was an amazing birth. It was a birth I thought I would never experience in my life. If you have had a previous C-section, it can be really easy to think that you're kind of doomed for future pregnancies, that you will have C-sections forever, but I did not. And so she gave me the birth I thought I would never have. And then she lived for only a few minutes before she died. So that was a whole thing. But I want to show you, like, I have spreads like this. This is my Hobonichi Weeks. And oh man, I really depended on this because my mind was like all kinds of all over the place, as you can imagine. So this has been a workhorse yet again. I heavily depended on the Hobonichi Weeks in 2021. And in 2022, it has not been any different. So I quit like overthinking things. I didn't think too much about it. And I had some photos printed out. This is of my daughter. And then this is of my two kids I already had holding my daughter. And so I just threw this spread together on a whim. And yeah, I just love it. I love that it's in my planner because, I'm in my planner all the time. So I love being able to look at this spread and just remember her. And then I have a lot of icons. This is one of the Theotokos, which is the God Bearer, the Virgin Mary. And I actually take so much comfort from her, and I have always been really drawn to her. And the fact that she is the joy of all who sorrow, oh my goodness, I kind of made a beeline to her in a lot of ways. So I have her kind of sprinkled throughout my setups, and she just really helps with my sorrow. And yeah, so this is kind of the first major spread that I have of my daughter, and I will go through and show you some examples of pages in here, but I will do a more detailed video explaining how I use this planner in greater depth. One of the things that happened this year also was that we went through another major move. We moved halfway across the country again, and so my planning style has like shifted as we've gone through all of those transitions. So this is a sample month. This is this current month. Probably when I post this video, it'll already be July, but I am using this the same way as I always have. And then I'm going to quickly run through several weeks just so you can get an idea of how my style changes depending on what I am going through in my life at that moment. So this is the prettiest my spreads are really gonna get, and where I utilize all of the headers that I would use on the right side of the page. And then this was kind of in the thick of our move, and you can see how messy and dirty these pages are. And you know, that's one of the reasons I love the Hobonichi Weeks so much, is because it's such a blank canvas with just enough structure to get me started. So I can use them any way that I need to, and I can be as pretty or as messy as I want. And so this is how my spreads are looking right now. These are some of the current ones. So I've had time to be able to utilize stickers and my favorite brush pens and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's how it's been working for me. It's super great. I still have my info book in the back, and then I put in stickers of the places we visit within this year. And yeah, so okay, so we moved from Alabama. That's where we were living before now. And it was Mobile, Alabama. And you know, hallelujah, we are out of there. So we lasted less than a year there. But one of the places we went to was Lambert's Cafe in Foley, Alabama, and they throw bread at you. They have the most amazing bread rolls, and right when they come out of the oven, they roll it out on a big cart, and then you put your hands up and they throw it to you from across the restaurant, and you have to catch it if you want to eat bread. So that was awesome. So yeah, that's my my planner setup, and it's very, very well worn in. I made all of my leather covers as I usually do. Everything else is journals because I'm not a huge planner person. Still am not. I have one ride or die system that I use, and I use it till it falls apart, basically. So let's just go ahead and get into this. This is something I've never shown. It's new this year. So this is a passport size, which is a size forever I would have sworn off that I would never, ever, ever use. I am super partial to tall, slender, narrow sizes, and passport is so tiny and it's so boxy, and yet here we are. So this is gonna be super special forever for me, because this is basically the one cover I made while I was pregnant with my daughter. So I'm super attached to this. I do not look at any other passport covers because there is just a ridiculous amount of sentimental value to this little guy. And I mean, it's just gorgeous to boot. I love being able to pick the textures on the covers that I make. because I'm just super particular like that. But this is my everything journal. I have tons of photos of my family, and this has 3 basic inserts, and no, it doesn't. It has 4 actually. And it's all of the different ways that I journal, but I'll break that down better in a separate video. So I have another icon of the Theotokos, and this one is super special to me because when we moved to our current state, I met with, for the first time, the priest here, and you know, what a thing to go through, because while I'm pregnant, I have to visit, you know, like funeral homes, and I visited the priest because we needed to make plans because we knew our daughter was going to die. So we met with him, and my goodness, he was just the most amazing man and brought me so much peace, or he really taught me how to attain peace for myself amongst all of the goings on. And he gave me this on our first meeting. And yeah, so I will always have this particular one highlighted and probably in every setup forever till the end of time. So it's just really special to me, and he's just a really, really special man in my life. And he actually came to the hospital at like 4 a.m. when I was in labor, and he was there waiting, and he baptized her before she died. And you know, I know it's really a hard thing to hear about. I have had the time to be able to process all of this stuff, but saying it out loud and imagining somebody hearing this for the first time, I feel like the shock that someone would feel upon hearing it. So I really apologize. But she was actively dying already during the baptism. And so, you know, we had a super fast baptism, and it was the most amazing moment of my life. Like it's a super, super precious memory for me. So he was able to do that, and you know, he's the one that gave me this, so it's just kind of a big deal for me. And then so here is my favorite picture of my daughter, which is also included in that spread I showed in my weeks. And then I have a few inserts. These first 3 are all the same. They're the Travelers Company Passport weekly dated inserts. And I have one for one of my kids, one for the other, and these are the journals that I write to my kids because I did switch out of the individual Hobonichi Weeks that I had been using for years for them. And then the third insert, it says family, and this is it's where I jot down what happened every day. It's just a document of the events that occurred, and it has to do with my family as a whole. And then this last insert, I have it tucked into the back pocket. This is my everything kind of journal. This is just where I write my thoughts and my feelings from my personal perspective. And this changes frequently because I fill these up. I fill these up pretty good. And I love being able to go through them so fast. And when I say fast, I mean, it takes me like a month to go through one of these inserts because the way that I journal has changed a lot. I mean, you know, I've changed a lot too. So if I were in a thicker or bigger notebook, it would take so much longer to fill them up, and I would find myself really bored in that particular notebook. So I love the passport size because of this, and I do keep my in my completed inserts in this Travelers Company binder. I have a lot of these because I have one for like one of my kids, my other kid, my journals, and then my family thing, but I'll show that in a different video. But this one is full. I have 3 inserts in here. So this This was a Hobonichi Weeks A6, like additional insert. It's the one that comes in the 3-packs, and I cut it down to passport, filled that up. This was an insert I made. Robin at Talks from the Heart, she gave me a spare A5 Stalogy that she wasn't using, and I have been tearing that thing apart to make my own passport inserts. And I love it because it has a 4mm grid, and in this tiny size, it works so nice. So this is a special insert, and it's huge, or super thick. I got this from Nico Neko Zakaya, which is the bane of my existence. That shop has me shopping so much, so frequently. But I believe this is a Hanan Studio notebook. And it is super beautiful. And I chose this and I bought it because it is, this is where I wrote out my daughter's birth story. And look at that stamp. That stamp could make me cry all the time. As far as themes go, I use a lot of birds and mountains, roses, and the color purple. And I associate all those things very heavily with my daughter. So this whole thing contains her birth story. And it's super thick because I put tons of photos in it from, I printed it off my little Canon printer, and it was totally like smoking by the end of this. But I love the way this turned out. And I have her birth story saved on my computer, but I did transcribe it into a notebook because I wanted a handwritten copy of it with all of my journals. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm storing things. And I have a little elastic that to keep it closed. And so yeah, that's that. I do have this page, I don't even know what to call it, but it's so that it will hold my pen. And I've been a super huge fan of the Pilot Coletos. So I have another icon of the Theotokos here. I was using this for storage, but it wasn't convenient. So I totally took this idea from Salty Katie. She has those like jelly page markers that have a pen loop. And so I styled this after that. And I love it. I love how this all kind of fits together in here so nicely. And because it's a full, leather page, it's really stuck in there. And so my pen is really secure, because I do throw this in my bag sometimes if I'm going to be like in a waiting room or something, and I know I'm going to have downtime, I will use my journaling insert and just start like writing real time, just to kill time, so that I'm like not on my phone and stuff like that. So that's that. This, I have shown this cover before, but I have made it into a special type of insert now, or setup. So I have lots of pictures of my family. I used to not put photos of my family in all of my setups, but now I do. So that's different. I have one paper insert in here for a special kind of journaling. I don't want to call it my art journal. It's more of like a creative journal. I really, really have fallen in love with collaging, and I'll show you something I just did. So this is so therapeutic for me. I started doing this while I was pregnant, and it was just a nice way to take a break from words and to spend a lot of time in my journal, because these take a fair amount of time. And I loved using so many different elements, as far as like stickers, ephemera pieces. Like this is a paper bag from an order I got. I love using these word strips stickers, like the Tim Holtz ones. Robin gave me like all of hers, and I love them. And stamps. Oh my goodness. I have become absolutely obsessed with stamping. Just out of the blue. You know, I don't think about things too much. I just kind of go with the flow because life's too short. So I am a huge stamper now, and I do not feel like a spread is complete until it's got some stamps on it. And I find them to be just the most amazing finishing touch to a collage. So this is one I did because we have a little chipmunk that lives under our front stairs, and I named him Frank. And I actually see him right now. I can see him down there. And so I made this little spread for him. And usually I have a topic in mind when I start collaging, and it centers around either a story that happened in my life or a photo typically. And here I just felt like collaging. So that's what I did. I knew I wanted a 2-page spread, so I skipped this one, but I'll go back and use this one as well. So that's that super fun insert, and I just work on it whenever. And I have, oh, this is me and my mom. I was super pregnant here, and so my face is like really swollen. And I don't know if this is just a Filipino thing, but all the women in my family, when we get pregnant, our noses get huge. Like they get really, really wide. And it's super funny. Like it always happens. But we went to a little festival, and I drank like a bucket of lemonade. And I don't like lemonade, but I drank that whole thing. And so after my daughter was born, I find myself just like randomly ordering lemonades if we eat out somewhere. You know, it's just one of those things, like you just draw attachments to certain things, and lemonade just happens to be one of them. And I do actually have a spread in here with this picture with like lemons everywhere and everything. And then I have this, I got this a while ago too, from Baumkuchen and Superior Labor. I keep stencils and things, and then I keep extra photos in here that I might want to use in some collages in the future. But so that's that. And I just use this whenever, I think I said that. And then really quickly, I have this A5. This cover, I used it for my Lord of the Rings when I'm copying the Lord of the Rings, because I wanted to like use up my fountain pens and stuff. Man, I don't have time for that project anymore. So I still have what I have written so far. I still have that notebook. It's put away just in case I ever want to revisit that. But I took the cover. And this is what I use just to, like when I'm reading my Bible, it's kind of a commonplace learning book as I am reading some like Christian books and stuff. So if I come across anything I didn't know or that I want to revisit, I'll write it in here basically. So, you know, I just have like prayers I'm trying to memorize, stuff like that. So it all kind of looks like this. It's not like super pretty or anything. It's purely informational, but I've got a big old thick notebook in there. And I have a whole bag full of like all the books I'm currently reading with my Bible and with this notebook. And then this, I just want to show really quickly because this is what I use for homeschool. And I finally found a thing that, or a setup that I feel really at peace with. This is one of the old Hobonichi covers. I don't even know what year it's from. But I'm using an A6 Stalogy. Hallelujah, I found something that actually clicks. I need to glue this down again, but I have another one waiting because I need to hurry up and make one for 4th grade. I was using the A5 Hobonichi Cousin Avec, and this past planner season, I even bought a super expensive like Mina Perhonen Hobonichi cover for it, and it didn't work out. So I should do a video of all of my Hobonichi purchases from 2021 and tell you how I've used everything and if they've worked out for this year. But I don't think I'm gonna flip through this, but it's super basic. I was actually inspired a lot by Kaitlyn Grey and her like A5 Stalogy bullet journal. But so I have headers for each month like this. Super simple. Love, love, love my stamps. I incorporate them whenever and wherever I can. So this is really basic. I'm not really gonna show this too much in videos, but I'm happy to have found a use for this cover. Finally, we are huge camping people, and this is one of my favorite covers Hobonichi has ever made, unless they come out with a Sailor Moon theme, and then I would buy everything under the sun in that theme. I don't know why I brought this out. This is the pen pouch I've been using this past year, Yuruliku. Oh, because I wanted to mention fountain pens really quick. Oh my goodness, I hate fountain pens, apparently. I don't hate them, but I really, really fell out of love with them. I don't think I ever was fully in love with fountain pens, but I just let go of them this year. It was probably the end of 2021 when that really happened. But I have two TWSBI Ecos here because these are just my go-to fountain pens. I have a bunch of these ones that are clear in the medium nib, and this has like, what is it? Noodler's Lexington Gray in it. And it's been inked up for ages, and all of my pens are cleaned out and in storage except for these two. Oh, this one is super duper special to me because when I found out the news about my daughter while I was pregnant, I was MIA from everybody in my life pretty much, because whenever I get some super serious news or life-altering stuff like that, I kind of become a recluse while I digest it before I can invite other people into my processing of it. I like to get a step ahead of it. And so I was MIA, and poor Robin at Talks from the Heart was like, the heck is going on with you? Like, talk to me. And so I finally told her like what was going on. And it's really terrible because when I told friends and family what was going on, I really broke a lot of hearts. And that part was really tough as well, because I really love these people, you know, and it was really hard to give them like such terrible news because they cared so much. But it might have been around the time this Jade TWSBI was released, or it was at least really, really popular. And I have no colored TWSBIs. And when I saw this one, I was already kind of accepting that I was out of love with fountain pens. But when I saw this, I wanted it so bad, like so bad. And I just love how it's a little bit translucent, and I just love everything about this pen. And of course, when Robin and I were talking, I mentioned this, but it was already sold out everywhere, everywhere that I had looked anyway. And I was just kind of like, okay, blah, blah, whatever, it's fine. You know, I don't need another fountain pen anyway. And so she bought this for me, and it's a super special gift. And it was just wonderful. Robin is just absolutely wonderful. So this was her gift to me to kind of like give me strength to push on. And it became even more special because, sorry again that I'm going to get kind of like deep here, but when my daughter was buried, my family, we all wrote her letters. So I think you know where this is going. We all wrote her letters, and we were able to put them in her casket. And so she is buried with all of our letters. And I actually had a pocket-sized Tomoe River paper insert. It was made by Taroko Shop, and it was really old. And I had that in my stash. So I wrote her letter in that insert using this pen with this ink, which is the Sailor, is it Shikiori? It's the Sailor Rikyucha. It's the like muddy kind of green one that I love. And I actually think Robin got me that for my birthday one year. But that's what's in here. That's what I wrote her letter with, and that's what's with her now. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to clean it out. I don't, you know, like these things are strange. It's really strange to kind of navigate these things that I am attached to because of her. Yeah, super random stuff in here. I'll probably go over that in another video. Is that everything? I think that's just a really quick and dirty, not quick because my timer says it's been 30 minutes, but okay. We'll close it out with this. Because I said I'm like such a huge stamper, I keep all my stamps like together in this bag and in this bag and in this beautiful little tote. These are my favorite stamps. This is my favorite stamp maker, Jesslyn Padilla. I have all her stamps that I own in here. This bag is from the Retro Seamstress on Etsy. I will link her shop, but she's always like repurposing vintage fabrics and stuff. And if this isn't me, I don't know what is. So anyway, I gotta close out this video. I do have a new Hello TSL journal tote. I had to upsize and go to the next biggest size because I outgrew my other one. And it's because of the stamps, because I need them with me like all the time. So I'll probably do a video about that too. So anyway, I just want to say, if you have been affected in any way by child loss, miscarriage, if you're struggling with infertility, if you're just desperate to become a mom and it's been troublesome, I just want to say that I see you and I pray for you all the time. And really knowing that other women have been through this, it has helped me so much to know that I could survive this as well. So that's where I'm going to leave that. I'm really, really sorry that, you know, I really brought the mood down in this video, but I just want to have this video to reference, you know, these things about my daughter, because I'm not going to keep bringing it up, you know, that she died in future videos, because like I said, this hobby has really helped me to take a break from all of the heaviness. And I don't use my journals to process all of those heavy things, because that's just not the way I work. That's not how I journal. I use it to capture memories, which is of the utmost importance to me. And I'm so grateful for those of you that do make videos as well, because watching your videos, oh my goodness, it really helped me just get out of my head and focus on something else that brings me a lot of fun and brings me a lot of joy. And I've gotten so much inspiration to play with all of my stuff again and just really get involved with it again, because I quit journaling for months. While I was pregnant and while we went through our move, it was just a lot. And that was strange. I could not journal. I could not journal about my daughter, to my daughter, or anything concerning my daughter while I was pregnant with her. And I tried, and I just like physically rejected the practice. And then, like, the moment she was born, all I could think was, I need my journal. Like, I left it at home because everything happened so fast. Like, my labor was just like, hi, you're in labor. And, you know, we were scrambling. I didn't have like a hospital bag or nothing. So I did not have my journal with me while I was in the hospital. And I was only there overnight. And all I could think was, I need it. I need it. I have to have it. And I literally have not stopped journaling since then, because all I could think was how unforgiving time is, the passage of time. Because as a journaler, I'm very keenly aware of how my memory fails over time. Even the littlest things get lost in my mind. And when I go back and read stuff, it jogs my memory. I think, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that little detail. And so I was just really aware of that. And because we only had a few minutes with her, I did not want to lose any of those moments to time. So I have just been furiously writing down all of the memories, all of the little insignificant moments that are actually the biggest moments of life. So yeah, so that's kind of how my journaling practice like changed through all of those events. It's crazy, man. So anyway, thank you for being here. Super sorry again, I didn't mean to bring down everybody, but you know, life is life, and you know, we have to bear our crosses, and I chose to do that, and it was the best decision I've ever made, because she has blessed us in the most unspeakable ways. Like it's and we still have yet to discover all of the rest of the blessings that she has in store for us. And so yeah, that's that. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to, you know, interacting with you all and putting out some more detailed videos in the future. And until then, take care and thank you for watching. Bye.